Let's be real. Mopping.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream.
To fill the bucket. Pushing a wet, heavy mop around. Then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad.
It is showtime.
The faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show. It is Friday, Open Phone Friday. It is always open phones on Friday on the program. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game. Welcome one and all. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about on the program today. By the way, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Okay, so I heard the lead story on the top of the hour news, and this is one of the most frightening times in my adult lifetime so far as international relations go, second only to 9/11. Okay, after 9/11 and the days after 9/11 were terrifying. There's no doubt about it. So we're not at that level of concern right now, but right now, after 9/11, this is the most frightening time we've been in for a number of reasons, but this lead story that I'm going to share with you right now is just how casual people are talking about it. I was listening to the top of the hour news, and it was very casual. Biden warns the world is facing the prospect of Armageddon for the first time since the Cuban Missile Crisis, saying Putin is deadly serious about using tactical nukes in Ukraine. Did I say nukes? Tactical nukes in Ukraine. He's not joking, Biden says. I'm going to get into some more details with this article because there's some things in there that are incredibly troubling and also revealing. But here's the thing, okay? The Cuban Missile Crisis was before my time and before the time of most of you out there. But I know there's a lot of people in this audience who remember that era. One of the big differences between now, there's a lot of differences between the Cuban Missile Crisis and today, okay, with the way things are being handled. Right now, nothing is being handled by the Biden administration to cool things down. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was a complete disaster in the end, but war was averted. There was no war. And during the Cuban Missile Crisis, President Kennedy, every step of the way, was trying to cool things off. He sent Bobby to the Russian embassy to meet with the Russian ambassador to try to cool things down. There was a dialogue going on during the darkest days of the Cuban Missile Crisis. There was a dialogue going on between the President of the United States and the Soviet Premier, Khrushchev. There was talk. And there was a resolution. Now, it resulted in Cuba still living under communist oppression, but war was avoided, and they were constantly trying to make sure that things did not escalate to that. Even though there were things going on, but they were always working to cool things down during the Cuban Missile Crisis. In this case, we've got this. Let's go. And 9/11, when I was growing up, I used to hear all the time the lessons of Vietnam. Remember all that talk, the lessons of Vietnam? And any time there was any type of conflict, you would hear someone on TV talk about the lessons of Vietnam, and what we learned from Vietnam was this and that, and there was this movement in the country in the post-Vietnam War era to not get entangled in a bunch of a war. And then Bush and Cheney came along, these never-Trumpers, and after 9/11, boy, we had a 20-year global conflict that we just got out of, right? And I remember, listen, President Trump was against the war in Iraq. I was not, and most of you weren't either. we did not know that Bush and Cheney were liars, okay, about the war in Iraq and the WMDs. The British intelligence was all a lie. Same people that brought you the fake Russian dossier against President Trump. But there was this gung-ho, let's go, it'll be over in 3 months. And then how many years later? 17 years, 15 years later? How long did it take to get out? 16 years? 17 years, something like that? And that was with a tiny little country. People getting around by camel over there, and the war went on for over 15 years. Worse, in Afghanistan went on for 20 years, and they're basically travel by caravan and barely have a civilization over there, like we define civilization, and they kept us for 20 years fighting. Now we're going to take on a nuclear power, a very large country too, across 2 continents. Visual distance from Alaska. I mean, this is insane. You know, Biden's talking about Armageddon, and people are like, bring it on, both conservative and liberal. What happened to the peaceniks? They're talking about nuclear war. And so far as a tactical nuke, what does that even mean? A tactical nuke? Is there really such a thing? I've heard people talk about tactical nukes, but how large of an area is affected with a tactical nuclear weapon? And once you do it, boom. I mean, you know, we used 2 ages ago against the Japanese, and it saved a lot of lives, and it's never been done again. But what is going on here? And we don't have a single person in the Biden administration who's reaching out to Putin and the Russians and trying to cool things down. You know, where's the summit meeting? Now, back during the Cold War, there was always discussions going on. They had the red phone in the White House. Do they still have that? Does it work? You know, the purpose of the red phone in the White House was to be able to reach the Kremlin and avert nuclear war. And now, it's going to be Armageddon. Yay, we got TV ratings. What the hell's going on here? Are you kidding me? And I feel like I'm the only sane man around. I know I'm not, but I feel that way. Which means if I think I'm the only sane one, that means I'm crazy, right? This is insane what's going on here. We don't have a single... I was talking about this earlier in the week, and now Biden, does he listen to this show? And I was talking yesterday that World War III, you know, Greg 2 called up, was like laughing at me. You got your president there at this fundraiser, which is... we're going to talk about that too, because it was pretty outrageous and disgusting. But you got Biden talking about Armageddon at a fundraiser, and they're sending money. Come on. You know, and it's interesting how the ones that are bragging that they're bringing us towards Armageddon and are talking so casually about nuclear weapons being used in Europe, these are the same people that are obsessed and concerned with the climate change. Well, what is the effect on the climate when you start using nuclear weapons in Europe? So I want to hear your thoughts on this. Also, do you have a sense that Biden and the mainstream media, which I include Fox News in that, want this type of war? To me, it seems they do. Now, of course, Fridays is open phones here on the program. Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Fridays. Not limited to the topics that I bring up or Steve bring up. But I have a lot of stories I am going to bring up through the program today. I do not have any sound bites of Kanye West. Okay? None. And I'm going to talk about that coming up. It's just a little mental note. Supposed to be playing sound bites of Kanye West today and getting all excited. I'm going to talk about that coming up after the first break. Oh man, have you guys called Sloman's and talked to them about how you can get your free doorbell camera? You got to do this. Hey, listen, no matter where you are located, Call Sloman's. I'm going to give you the number in just a moment and ask them how you can get a free doorbell camera. I've had one for years. I love it. It's amazing. I can see right now, I can pull up on my iPhone or my iPad, I can pull up my front door and see what's going on there. If someone came to the door, I could, boom, talk to them. They don't even know I'm not home. It's amazing. Day and night, has night vision. It records. You can see what's there. What I use it for most of the time is if there's a knock at the door and I'm indisposed, okay? We all have our phones in the bathroom, right? I can see who's at the door and I don't have to go and answer. It's amazing. I'm going to give you the number right now. Call Sloman's and ask them how you can get your free doorbell camera. Remember, no matter where you are located, give them a call, okay? 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. Call and ask them how you can get your free doorbell camera. There's only one opening on our board, so callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our first break of the hour, come back with your calls. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. My name is Brian Craig. It's Friday. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Now, listen, guys, those of you that are Patreon supporters, make sure you go to the Patreon page. My wife and daughter recorded a podcast, which is pretty good. I listened to it last night. When they recorded the podcast, they didn't let me listen to it. But Patreon supporters, you can go check out that podcast with my daughter Emily and my wife Kathy without me. Yeah, I listened to it last night, and it's really good. And if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, support my content, there's a link in the description of the video, or you can go to my website, briancraigshow.com, and become a Patreon supporter. I think you'll enjoy the interview. Pretty good one. Or the podcast with Kathy and my daughter. Also, I did a short podcast with her myself about a week ago, but the one with Kathy and my daughter is much better than the one with me and my daughter. And she talked about some things, my daughter, that I was surprised she brought up, frankly. Let's see, where are we? Oh, thank you, Rome. I'll pin that. Yeah, Rome, Wisconsin. She's a Patreon supporter, and she just put the link to my Patreon page. I just pinned it to the top of the chat. Yeah, this is Carrie Lake shirt, Carizona. Carizona. This shirt's a little small for me, so my daughter told me a trick. I sat down on the floor and put my knees inside the shirt to stretch it out. I got a big weekend. I'm going out of town, so a lot going on. Well, I had to sit on the floor to get the knees inside the shirt.
It's 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes, it is. Only one opening on our board at 888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. Saturday, October 15th, join Steve Kane and me. We're taking our concealed weapon permit course together, and you are all invited. Mike, who's a top security specialist with Eagle Eye Protection Services, is giving this class. And let me tell you, I'm finally getting my concealed weapons permit. I'm very excited, but to get the permit, I must take the class. And that's what I'm doing on October 15th with you guys and Steve Kane at Eagle Eye Protection Services with Mike. I'm going to give you the number in a moment. Call and join us. This is going to be a great class. Now listen, if you are new to Florida, if you are a new resident of Florida, call Mike, take this class, get your concealed weapons permit, all right? And by the way, bring your spouse, bring your husband, bring your wife, bring your adult children. I'm going to give you the number to call. You'll have a great time. If you've already gotten a permit, it's a great time for you to brush up on the rules, the laws, and get some great expert training from Mike from Eagle Eye Protection Services. Here is the number. Again, this is Saturday, October 15th is the course. 561-723-6191. Plus, then you get to hang out with Steve Kane and myself, Brian. 561-723-6191. That's 561-723-6191. Join us. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You're on the air. Hi, kid.
Chris from Macho, Martin County.
All right, Chris from Maga, Martin County. I was just up there a couple weeks ago. Went out on the boat with my father-in-law and daughter up there.
Yeah, this is a great area to live in. The reason I called you, and I don't want to get off topic, but you were talking.
It's open phones on Friday.
Yeah, I want to talk about this all week, but I just couldn't fit it into your topic once. But anyway, me and my wife voted on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that made me very happy.
It wasn't really above the governor. I guess they put the federal offices first.
And then Governor DeSantis is second, and then Attorney General Moody third. So now I voted for those three naturally, and on down the line, Republicans.
Oh yeah, straight Republican ticket, absolutely.
But the main reason I'm calling is on the ballot, and this only concerns our Florida voters or listeners, is an amendment that extends the current homestead exemption to a $100,000 homestead exemption for school teachers, public servants such as firemen and correctional officers, child welfare services, and so forth, and armed forces. But I have to be honest with you, I'm against this amendment, and I'll tell you why. It's because I already pay my taxes. Half of them go to the school district, and another half go to these services like the policemen and the firemen and the correctional officers. So I don't think this is fair to the senior citizens or the rest of us that we don't get the $50,000.
I know. I mean, here I'm in Palm Beach County. You know how many damn dog parks we have in our neighborhood from the county? I mean, give me a break with all that money. Here's the thing, okay? The homestead exemption is an awesome thing, and I agree with you to an extent. If they were expanding the homestead exemption to $100,000 for everyone, I'd be talking about it probably every day because I'd want that to pass. But to limit it to people, you're talking about school teachers and basically first responder types, I think it's a bit discriminatory. It's probably, but that sounds like something Ron DeSantis came up with. Was it a Ron DeSantis idea?
I don't know, but I want to do some research on it.
It's not a bad idea, but it should extend to everyone because I don't know how long the $50,000 homestead exemption has been around, but property values have increased a lot in Florida since then, and it should go up to $100,000 just because of the increase in what all of our homes are worth. And I'll tell you, last year my homeowner's insurance went through the roof. I'm scared to death to know what's going to happen next year. I could use that $100,000 exemption.
Me too. I'm already paying $1,600 on property taxes. In property insurance. insurance.
Oh man, you got to give me your homeowner's insurance person then, because you got a much better deal than I do. But I guess maybe it's because you're in Martin County. I don't know.
Yeah, probably so. Okay, that's all.
Yeah, I don't. Let me tell you, it goes. Who's it for? School teachers, firefighters, police officers, and who else?
Correctional officers, armed forces.
Armed forces. Well, listen, firefighters are rich. Okay, most firefighters I know are borderline millionaires. They got enough benefits, and they only work like 6 or 8 days a month, firefighters, so they should get nothing. This isn't New York City where they're going up in high rises, right? They mostly turn up at car accidents, and they work, I think, 8 days a month a firefighter works, and they got this racket going. They retire, and then they get it, and because they retire young. After 20 years, they get a job at another department and get another pension. So, firefighters should get nothing.
Totally agree.
All right, man. Thanks so much. All right, take care. Take care. From MAGA, Martin County. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is John in Wellington.
Hey, John.
In 1941, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. That was time for action. In the early 1960s, the Soviet Union put missiles on Cuba, aimed at the United States. That was time for action. My question to you, sir, is what the heck has the Russians at this point done to make Biden want to enter Armageddon with them?
Well, this is going to sound, it's a good question you asked, and what I'm going to tell you just popped in my head as we're speaking. Biden is old as the hills. Right? I mean, he's old. So, and pretty much everybody he knew and grew up with is gone. So he just doesn't think long term so far as that. You know what I mean? Because at his age, I guess that's it. He just doesn't, he's not thinking long term. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. This is frightening to me. This is the closest we have been to nuclear war in my lifetime.
Of course.
I mean, if there's... Yeah.
What he's doing is it's the same old coot that's threatening to take someone behind the woodshed and whoop them. But instead of a beating, now he's threatening nuclear war.
Well, this is the thing. When President Kennedy became president, he had everyone in his cabinet read a book on World War I called The Guns of August. And that was required reading when I was in school, too. That and Profiles in Courage. That's why I know so much about President Kennedy. They probably don't teach about President Kennedy anymore. But what it was is remember that thing, beware of entangling alliances that resulted in the First World War. And this is what we have with NATO. If a tactical nuclear weapon is used in Ukraine and the wind blows to up to Poland, that's it, man. NATO's been attacked with a nuclear weapon. And with the fallout, and then that's the end of it. And then we are obligated to go to war.
That's true. Basically, the way I see it, he's going to get half of the United States
the Guns of August
out just to make himself look like a tough guy.
Yeah, and to get the laptop out of the news cycle. Yeah, you think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. All right, John in Wellington. Callers on hold, stand by. We're up against our bottom of the hour break. You can see it is open phones. Guy called about the homestead exemption. Had a little conversation about that. That's how open the phones are on Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game. 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. By the way, if you don't, check out my podcast, The Brian Craig Show Podcast. You can go to my website, briancraigshow.com, and find it there. But my podcast, which I host with my wife, is on all podcast platforms. The Brian Craig Show Podcast. Check it out. We'll be right back. Show.com and find it there. But my podcast, which I host with my wife, is on all podcast platforms. The Brian Craig Show Podcast. Check it out. We'll be right back.
Morning radio. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Freedom Soup. Glad to see Freedom Soup back regularly. You were in there last night, too, for the podcast. Well, the thing about it is they're talking, that's scary to me, is they're talking so casually about a nuclear war, too. I mean, that's crazy. That book I was talking about, it's called The Guns of August. It's a history book about World War I. And President Kennedy gave a copy to every member of his cabinet when he became president. And it's the theme of it is beware of entangling alliances. It was like required reading in 8th or 9th grade. I have a long car drive tomorrow. And I'm going to get a book on tape, an audio book. What's a book that I should get on audio book and listen on the drive? Not The Laptop from Hell. I've already got that one. Any book recommendations from you guys? I'm leaving my house like in the middle of the night, early in the morning. I don't like novels, by the way. No novels. The Harbingers. No novels, guys. I like to read about real things. Well, I guess I'll be listening about a real thing. And I'll be alone, so something that'll keep me alert and awake on the road. Yeah, the Bible. Curious George Goes to the City. Green Eggs and Ham. I'm sorry I asked you guys. Green Eggs and Ham, are you kidding me? I like Dr. Seuss. What's a real thing, Christine? The Harbingers? What is that? That sounds like a novel. Let me look up. Let me look here. Let's see here. It's going to be a movie. The Harbinger, the Ancient Mystery that holds the secret to America's future. Well, that sounds interesting. Let's see. Jonathan Cahn has come up with an understanding of a pattern in the scripture of God's judgment on ancient Israel being played out in the United States now. The Harbinger is the best explanation I've come across to understand the mystery of what's behind 9/11. Well, that sounds like end-time stuff. I don't know. Does that sound like an enjoyable thing to listen to? On alone in a long car drive? That sounds like it'll scare the hell out of me, Christine. I'll consider that one. Oh, people know the Harbinger. Huh. It talks about Obama. I've never heard of them. Great books, makes you think. Is it kind of like the Left Behind books? But I guess those are novels. And I do not like novels. Although I've read many novels, I'm not a big novel fan. It correlates with the Bible and references. I will check it out, Christine. I've never heard of it.
We've been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Spin Car Wash, home of the crystal clear windshield. Come visit us today at Spin Car Wash and get 50% off.
American Kingpin. Yeah, I got to get the audio book so I can listen in the car. Ship of Gold, about a maritime disaster in 1857. Captains and Kings. Other than the Bible, what's the best book you've ever read? You know, the best novel I've read in the last few years, this will sound crazy, but this is an age thing because Generation X. The best novel I've read in the last 5 years is Ready Player One. But that's just because of a lot of Gen X references. But what's the best novel, the best book? Let's keep a book other than the Bible. The best book you've ever read.
Now you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Marilyn Manson. I've talked about this before. Steve used to be friends with Marilyn Manson, and Marilyn Manson used to come around the radio station. Marilyn Manson and I are about the same age before they were famous. Patriot Games. The best book. It doesn't have to be The Source. Wow. Has anyone read Ready Player One? I think the best novel I've read would be, I'll tell you next break.
45 years on the air.
Yes, we are back. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. It is open phones on Friday at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Biden's bragging that we're closer to Armageddon than we've been since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Let me take another call or two, then I'm going to get into the details of that story because there's something else disturbing and revealing in that story, the Armageddon speech of Biden's yesterday that I haven't gotten to yet. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, yesterday on your podcast, you guys and Kathy brought up a theory about the Secret Service, why, and the whole thing about the wreck with the car accident with Kamala Harris, right?
Oh, yes.
And so my theory is this: the reason, and it's not as deep as hers. The reason why they wanted the Secret Service to look bad is because the Secret Service that were at Mar-a-Lago sniffed out the you-know-what about this whole raid that happened in Mar-a-Lago, and they weren't going to allow the FBI in. So, and the FBI weren't, and the FBI needed to get in there to do what they did.
Well, let me tell people what you're referencing. And I did a very detailed podcast episode with my wife about this last night. You can check out, okay? But Kamala Harris was in a car accident on Monday. When did you find out about it? Yesterday. Yeah, I found out about it yesterday, Thursday. I want you to think about this. The Vice President of the United States was in a car accident on Monday, and we didn't hear about it until Thursday. And when we heard about it, this is insane, okay? It was this was in D.C. It was her motorcade. It was the SUV that she was in, drove up on a curb with such force, with such speed, that it busted the rim and the tire of the car. They had to take the Vice President of the United States, think about that now, that's a big deal, out of the vehicle on a public street in D.C., transfer her to another vehicle, and then take her to the White House. Then they not only did they cover up the event, they lied about it. When they went back to the White House, the Secret Service, and Kamala went along with this, said there was a mechanical failure of some sort with the vehicle that caused the accident, and that was a lie. They lied to the Secret Service director, and an anonymous person, I guess connected to the motorcade or something, they said told the director, but what had happened, a TikToker saw it and recorded a little bit of it and posted it on TikTok, and it didn't get any traction, then put it up on Twitter, and then the story broke. So what was going on inside of, this is one of those black SUVs that they travel around in. For them to hit a curb with force, to bust the tire, to bust a rim in the tire on a vehicle that has run flats, that's made to take, shots at the wheel and explosions, is incredible. Why did Kamala and the Secret Service lie about the accident, and why did the White House cover it up until it leaked out from this TikToker? Something was going on inside that SUV.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I do agree with Kathy that this is designed to make the Secret Service look.
No, I think this is what I think. I think now when I read the stories, I didn't see any stories about Kamala's husband being there. By the way, they call him the second gentleman. What a feminizing term. The first gentleman. Oh my goodness. But there was someone or something going on inside that SUV that they didn't want us to know about. That's it. I mean, there's no other reason. I have never heard of a car accident involving the vehicle that carries the Vice President of the United States ever. And they lied and covered it up. It's not free. No, it's not. I don't think you're right. I think there's something going on, or someone inside the SUV that they didn't want out.
Right. Think about this with this thing. Remember when the Beast went around the NASCAR track?
Mm-hmm.
And you would think, and those cars are traveling at a pretty good pace, and the Beast is a big honking thing.
What did you say? I hit the dump button just in case. I heard that word you said. Okay, honk with an H. Okay. Honk, like a honk of a horn. Okay.
Yeah, and you would and those cars go around that track. It was being used as a pace car. And those pace cars go around the track as.
Well, this wasn't the Beast, but this was the black SUV. And I've seen those SUVs many times, including carrying President Trump. And you don't just go up against a curb and bust out the tire where the vehicle's not drivable very easily. You would have to hit it with a great amount of force. And they're big SUVs too. Something is up with that. What it is, we can speculate on, and I'll take your calls on that, by the way. But there's a couple possibilities. And I know what the first one everyone's thinking, because Willie Brown's girlfriend. That's one of the possibilities.
Yeah, really, and that's the thing. And you also mentioned that she might not have been riding in the back seat. That
she might have been in the front seat.
Yeah.
Or something or someone was in the back seat that they didn't want. That something was going on that not only caused the driver to lose control of the vehicle and get into an accident with such force that the SUV was not drivable. The reason I'm saying something was going on inside that SUV, or there was someone in there that they don't want you to know about, is because they lied about the accident and covered it up until this TikToker's video got out on Twitter.
And thank God for this video. Thank God that we know about it, because this is one of these things that is obviously covered up,
Yeah.
Wow.
And it should have been in the news on Monday when it happened.
I mean, this is, again, you look at this whole administration and all the stuff that is going on, all the stuff about all the cover-ups that have been going on in this administration, including this, and this is one of the dirtiest administrations.
Yeah, and also part of that story, they took Kamala out of the vehicle on a public street in D.C., which is a no-no. Never seen that happen before. They put her in another vehicle, drove her to the White House, and then they had doctors at the White House examine her, and they said she was okay. That's what? So the accident was, something happened, was so intense that she had to be seen by the physicians at the White House after. Something stinks about that.
Something does stink about it, and we know she's unqualified to even be in that job, but that's another.
That job has there's no job to do. Hey, Mike, thanks for the call. I'm glad he brought that up because I'd forgotten about that. I talked about it in detail with my wife last night on my podcast, so you check that out with a lot more detail that I'm sharing now. But what are your theories on that? Am I crazy? But if the accident happened on Monday and we just found out yesterday because a TikToker leaked the video, that's a cover-up. Now listen, our number is toll-free. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Are you in pain? If you are, you don't have to be. Call Dr. Philip Appleton and talk to him about his laser away pain system. He's open 6 days a week, by the way, Saturday being the 6th day. No appointment necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. Dr. Appleton, his laser away pain helps on any type of pain. Back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain. My knee pain is gone. It's been a month now and gone. Man, oh man, it's so exciting. And it works on tinnitus, tennis elbow, neck pain, stenosis, lumbar pain, bursitis, many other things too. I mean, a long list of things. Many of them I don't even know how to pronounce, but it helps with them. Fibromyalgia. I can't even pronounce some of these things. Rotary tears, herniated disc. If you have acute pain, chronic pain, post-surgical pain, maybe you've had knee surgery and you're still in pain. Maybe you've been told you need knee surgery. Before you have the surgery, check in with Dr. Appleton. Arthritis, work injuries, sports injuries. By the way, if you mention you heard about Dr. Appleton on the radio, it is a free consultation. All right, so make sure you mention that when you call. His number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonChiro.com. All right, make sure you mention you heard about him on the radio so you can take advantage of that free consultation. He's located in Pompano, about a mile north of Cypress Creek Road on the west side of Powerline. 954-973-0710. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. We'll take our break and be right back. Don't go anywhere. Powerline. 954-973-0710. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. We'll take our break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
If you have rare coins, diamonds, gold, silver, and watches to sell, and you're looking for a fair price, look no further than Tweery's Rare
Steve Kane Show. Hey. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
This segment of the Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are available?
Cynthia, Okeechobee. Oh, wow. My dad lives in Okeechobee. And I actually, when I was young, I went to school in Okeechobee for 2 school years. No, I was just reading an article. Whereabouts in Okeechobee are you? Here we go. Oh, yes. Oh, man. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Biden yesterday said we are closer to Armageddon than we have been since the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then he passed a hat around and raised money. Oh, man. And if you're on hold, stand by, because there's something else that's troubling and also revealing, okay? Joe Biden said Thursday evening that Vladimir Putin was not joking about using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. He said the risk of Armageddon is the highest it has been since the Cuban Missile Crisis. He delivered his doomsday warning at a fundraising event for Democrats at the New York home of James Murdoch of the Fox News family. Oh my goodness. So the Murdochs had a Democrat fundraiser with Biden, and that's where the Armageddon talk came from. See, there you go. Been telling you guys about Fox News Channel. The Murdochs are doing fundraisers for Democrats. They got Biden there, and they're all excited about the coming Armageddon. This is insanity. If you've not been turned off by Fox News yet, this has got to have some impact. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Whether we like it or not, you can open up your eyes. Whether it be Fox News is the least of our problems. There's a government within the government of our country, and we've totally, as patriots and people that love this country, it is obvious to me we have lost this country. The administration that's in there now, okay, we have an incompetent president. We have diversification. They're worried more about sexes and genders and colors, and there isn't a diplomat in this country right now, and they could care less about their main concern is making money and robbing us and global warming, and it's not about this nuclear deal. Let me tell you something. When it happened with Kennedy, most people were patriots in this country, and we love this country. This media, this government has been exposed. This is not the United States government running the government.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, what has me so upset, Richie, is I'm so terrified, I'm kind of almost numb, that it's been going on for 2 weeks now. This talk of nuclear war and Armageddon is being done so casually, like it's no big deal. And, you know, if this, you know, when I was growing up, they used to talk about that red phone at the White House, direct to the Kremlin from the Oval Office. Is there anyone talking? Are they talking to the Kremlin and trying to cool things off, or are they trying to cause the Third World War?
They do not have diplomats anymore.
No, they have critical race theorists.
That's right. And if you take a look at Afghanistan, that's a blueprint of the incompetence of this whole inner circle that's running the United States of America. You think that the average voter in this country is for all this garbage? These are all radical, like the social justice warriors. You're commercial. You know, this country, we've lost it. We've actually lost it. And there's the confidence in the country. The media is totally turned on the people. Everyone is turning on the people of this country. The normal people of this.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about. My idea is not worried about purple hair, blue hair, or cross-dressers and teaching kids about mutilating their bodies in school. This whole country, we've lost it. We have lost. You people better open up their eyes and see we've lost it.
Yeah, that's right.
Any of these elections, you're right.
Yeah.
Crap.
And why are the Murdochs doing Democrat Party fundraisers with Biden?
They're in the tank with the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy nut, but the people running this country are not true American-loving people. They hate this country. These are the same people that were tearing down statues and are trying to eliminate our history and talking about the 1619. This is all crap here. This is not the United States. George Washington is turning over in his grave, and so is Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
During that fought World War II, that sacrificed their life for the betterment of the motherland. The motherland is turned rotten inside. There's something really wrong when you got people roaming streets and crime all over the place, and nobody stops it, nobody cares about it, and this president's more interested in letting out everybody that smoked marijuana. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. You know, they're letting out all the potheads out of jail. What's the benefit of that? I mean, you know, they've been talking, one of the big problems the Democrat has is this pro-crime thing. And I don't know, are these people actually in prison for one joint? Because I keep hearing, we can't let somebody go to prison just for having a single joint. Come on.
Yeah, this is all crap. These were pushers and everything else. And I'm sorry. I mean, you want to see the United States of America, what these people want? Go look at Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia after Brian's show on YouTube. This is what they want to do.
Yeah, after 9 o'clock. Don't do it while I'm on the air. Appreciate that, Richie.
They want to turn the country into this crap.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is disgusting. And I don't know what we're going to do about this.
We gotta do what Donald Trump tells us to do and hope that the MAGA Republicans, you know, listen, when the MAGA Republicans take over the House and Senate, and these aren't your typical Republicans, and they have real congressional hearings in both houses, that we could bring the government to a standstill, and it would stop a lot of this.
Yeah. Remember one thing, what Joe Biden said yesterday, 2 days ago, I believe, in Tampa. Oh, it was yesterday. It was 2 days ago, I believe. Nobody F's with Joe Biden.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that something?
Everybody in Washington and the Secret Service and the FBI, they're all in on it. This is so rotten, and it's been exposed, and I'm in a state of shock. The FBI covering up everything. This is and they're going after people like you and I.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they've arrested 11 pro-life people, pro-life activists. They're facing over 10 years in prison. I mean, this is crazy.
Anymore, bro. This is not our country.
No.
It's been taken over by crazy.
Well, you know, we're living in the America that Joe McCarthy warned us against. That's what's happened.
They're taking over this country.
Correct.
The shady deals, the behind-the-curtain stuff, and it's blatantly right out there, and the media is just as bad. They keep things from us, like even the small thing that you talk about, the accident of Kamala Harris. They cover everything up. This is supposed to be so transparent. The administration. How many news companies?
And I like how, you know, the news, the television news and Fox News. Oh, on Monday, Kamala Harris had a minor car accident, and they move on. They covered it up for 4 days until the TikToker got the video out there. Something was going on there.
How many true news conferences has the President of the United States had with the American people? You can count it on my...
We haven't seen a true press conference since Trump's first term. All right, Richie, take care. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Neil in the UK.
Oh, hey, UK Neil. How you doing?
Hey there, Brian. Good morning, and good morning to all viewers out there. Okay, there's two parts to what I want to kind of say here. Number one, what was the biggest event that affected the 2020 election?
The biggest event? What was it? What was the biggest event? COVID. Okay, yes, COVID. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so what did everyone predict for 2020? That Trump was just going to absolutely storm that.
Mm-hmm.
What's coming up in a few weeks? Oh, the midterms. Gee, well, COVID's not working anymore because that's literally done and dusted. So what else can we use to affect the next election that's going to basically give the Republican Party the House and the Senate? Well, we can ramp up World War III.
Yeah, World War III. Yeah.
Why they're doing what they're doing? Because they want to affect the midterms.
Well, I got to tell you, you know, in Europe, I mean, you're in the UK. I like to separate you from the rest of Europe, but the rest of Europe is really looking forward to a war. It seems to me.
Yeah, well, the leaders are. The people aren't. I mean, if you look at what just happened in Italy with the populist leader that voted in Italy, when you look at Liz Truss, for example, now I was very anti-Liz Truss, and what I've discovered recently with Liz Truss is that she's very respectful of Trump. Liz Truss is like singing the praises of Trump everywhere she goes, and then Trump came out just days ago and stated that he has a lot of faith in Liz Truss. So I think on the surface, the kind of World Economic Forum, Euro, pro-EU countries, leaders are trying to push for this, but then there's a bit of a fight back from the kind of populist side, and then you kind of have Liz Truss singing praises for Trump. So you're kind of like, well, what really is going on with Europe and the UK here? And then just quickly, the other thing I wanted to mention as well with regards to Ukraine is Elon Musk put out a tweet days ago calling for peace between Russia and Ukraine, as you were saying, no, you know, let's have some peace here. What's wrong with that? So why did Lindsey Graham suddenly lose his absolute mind and start attacking Elon Musk?
Exactly. I mean, you know, Lindsey Graham has no skin in the game. He has no kids, no family that would have to go off to war. And you guys in the UK, you've lost a lot in these European wars. You know more than us. You know, that's disgusting. And Elon Musk is the only mainstream global figure that has said, wait a minute, what about peace talks?
Exactly. And I mean, there's very good reason why Lindsey Graham is running his mouth, and you only have to look at 2014 for that.
Yeah, and he wants a war. He's another one of these warmongers, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting and it's frightening. Hey, Neil, it's always good to hear from you.
All right, have a good day, Brian.
All right, that's UK Neil. He's a friend of mine. He is UK MAGA. Isn't that something? I know, it's amazing. Now, I got to ask you a very important question. This is a very important question. It really, truly is. Do you or someone you know and love suffer from neuropathy? If you do, call Lighthouse Medical. And I'm gonna, when I can find the phone number here in my list of copy, I just found the number. If you or someone you know and love are suffering from neuropathy, you know how it can be, man. It is painful. That tingling in your hands and feet, that feeling of the pins and needles in your hands and feet. It's really a disability, and most doctors will tell you, that's your life now, neuropathy, live with it. Steve's neuropathy was keeping him bedridden like one of Charlie Bucket's grandparents, and then we found Lighthouse Medical Center, and Steve can get out and about now. His neuropathy symptoms are gone, thanks to the treatment at Lighthouse Medical Center. Give them a call. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. The number again, 754-222-6642. Call Lighthouse Medical Center. They're in Pompano and say bye-bye to your neuropathy symptoms. We'll be right back. Again, 754-222-6642. Call Lighthouse Medical Center. They're in Pompano and say bye-bye to your neuropathy symptoms. We'll be right back.
The new Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station. From the Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry Weather Center. Tweery's, the most trusted dealer in rare coins, fine jewelry, precious metals, and more since 1982. Here's the Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. First warning, meteorologist Vanessa Guinness from WQBF 25 News expects lots of sunshine again.
Steve Kane Show.
Temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s, very
None.
comfortable. Morning lows in the 60s and the 70s. When you wake up on your Saturday morning, expect those temperatures in the 70s and highs tomorrow in the mid to upper 80s.
Follow Oldies.
Where am I? Here I am.
96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community. Have a laugh with some funny memes. And keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
Very quiet this morning from the Palm Beach commute. 95 on the Turnpike remain crash free, moving up the speed. We're seeing some more volume on Jog Road north and southbound passing Palmetto Park Road and Glades. We're also seeing some more volume on Jog Road north and southbound passing Atlantic Avenue. More traffic on Southern Boulevard eastbound coming out of the Acreage, and some light buildups on Lakeworth Road east and westbound between 441 and the Turnpike. The servitudes are crash free. This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.org. That's traffic from Chris Barr.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News now. I'm Todd. President Biden Thursday night talking about a possible Armageddon with the latest Russian nuclear threats.
The president telling a New York City Democratic fundraiser that the United States hasn't faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Mr. Biden saying Vladimir Putin is not joking when he talks about using nuclear, biological, or chemical weapons because his military isn't performing well. It's not clear what the president or NATO nations can do to stop that threat.
ABC's Andy Field, a senior Pentagon official Thursday said the U.S. believes North Korea is preparing for a nuclear test. If true, it would be the North's first nuclear test in 5 years. President Biden is pardoning some 6,000 Americans convicted of simple marijuana possession under federal law. An attacker with a large kitchen knife killed 2 people and wounded 6 others in stabbings along the Las Vegas Strip before he was arrested And comedian Judy Tenuta, a brash stand-up, called herself the goddess of love, died Thursday at 72. This is ABC News.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the
Yeah,
bucket.
Judy Tenuta died. I saw Judy Tenuta in concert once.
Then cleaning them off when you're done, so it doesn't grow.
I know, it's kind of ridiculous. I had free tickets from the radio station. I didn't buy Judy Tenuta tickets, but it was very funny.
With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Make sure that you subscribe if you're new to my channel, and everyone like the video. Oh, here we go.
Everyone's got one. Get yours in the Steve Kane Show.
Yes, yes. Oh, man. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Steve Kane joined us a little early today. Hey, Steve.
How are you doing? I just couldn't resist. I had to jump in.
Okay.
Before there was
Place to jump into.
Okay. Well, call us on hold. Stand by.
Yeah, I have to disagree with our friend Richie, the bus driver. He's one of my favorite callers, by the way, but he's off on this. To say that we have reached the end of the road or we've lost the country, I think was what he said, shows, and I'm surprised at this because usually Richie's right on the money, shows an intrinsic lack of understanding of what the situation is. We have not lost the country because the battle has not yet been fought. We can't say we've lost the country until, hypothetically, the election is run and we lose the election, and then we have lost the country.
Yeah.
Until that battle occurs, the outcome is very much in doubt until we get an answer.
Well, you know, Richie's problem, Steve, and I don't say this to give him a hard time, but Richie's going through some things and he's kind of down in the dumps, so his outlook on things is from a view of a depressed person. I'll tell you off the air. No, it's fine. He's not dying or anything, guys. He's healthy. He's okay. I don't want, but no, because he's depressed, everyone else is depressed, in his circle, and everything is depressing. But I'll tell you, Steve, one of the things that has me most concerned about Biden is that they're just so casually talking about Armageddon and nuclear weapons. And we have, if this were any other president, even Bill Clinton, we'd have some responsible people at the State Department or something. Who do we have? Blinken and Milli Vanilli, the general, and Mayor Pete. We don't have anyone who's a statesman.
We have to count on the safeguards which the Founding Fathers built into our Constitution for moments such as these to get past the crisis. I mean, the Founding Fathers understood there were going to be pitfalls along the way, and there were going to be, traumatic threats to the survival of the country. In theory, the Constitution is supposed to take care of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why people are nervous because nobody's more nervous than I am. But until the day, let me tell you, when we wake up the day after the election, if things go as they appear to be going now, it's going to be a great day for celebration, a rebirth of our country.
Yeah.
When that occurs, if that occurs, which I believe it will, I have faith in the Constitution.
Well, what I was telling Richie is, and by the way, callers, stand by. There's only one opening on the board. I'll just say this one thing, then we will go directly to the phones, and we will take the calls in the order in which they were received, okay? I have kept track so far as to what order everyone called in on. Here's the thing, okay? While Biden will still run the White House, if we're taking over, which I think we are in both houses, these are Trump-backed MAGA Republicans. There are going to be real hearings in both houses on a lot of things, including the laptop, the break-in of Mar-a-Lago, the long list of things. That will paralyze the White House. They'll be able to do nothing. So that's good news.
What we just have to do is keep the Constitution breathing for another 2 years until the year, and we all know who that
Donald Trump.
That role. But it's far too early to be giving up.
Yeah.
The only people who should be giving up now are the other side.
Well, let's take some calls here. There's only
Just one other thing I want to throw out comments on. Anyway, go to the phone.
Okay, there's only one opening at 1-888 Gil Kane 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, gentlemen. It's Greg for DeSantis. Listen, Steve, thank you for giving a breath of fresh air. This doom and gloom. By the way, Brian, for the record, we've never had a nuclear bomb ever set off. You keep on saying a nuclear bomb. It was an atomic bomb, not a nuclear bomb.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize the difference. Oh, my goodness.
No, there's a huge difference. A huge difference.
Oh, tell me, what's the difference?
Let's get into the issue.
What a other than your personal issues.
I think you have...
Go ahead, Greg. Brian, go ahead.
All right, but listen, Steve. You know what? This country, we've had a setback, no doubt about it. Biden as our president. We will regain, hopefully, both houses, but at least the House of Representatives, no doubt about it. But this doom and gloom, nuclear war is going to happen. You're scaring people. You're a scaremonger.
The President of the United States said last night at the home of James Murdoch that we are closer to Armageddon than we have been since the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's not me, that's Biden.
Hey, by the way...
Well, Biden, since when is Biden an authority on anything?
He's the president. He's the president.
His mouth is with the world's number one liar.
You know, I gotta remind you, Steve. Greg too is on your side on this. You know.
Forget the sides. We're all Americans here.
Exactly. Thank you. And by the way, you say he suffers from Alzheimer's. It's Alzheimer's. There's no T in it. It's a Z. But
I didn't have a T in that. You're really pathetic to try to have something on me.
The content.
You're right, Steve.
This is the most insecure caller in the history of the program.
Wait. Listen, Steve. We talked about it yesterday. This doom and gloom, we're entering a nuclear war, and we're going to be sending troops over there. It's irresponsible. It's like scaring people. Some of your people, your listeners.
Well, on the other side of it, Greg, on the other side of it, if it scares them into being certain that they'll go to the polls on voting day, maybe it's good for them to be scared.
You know, Greg, I got to tell you, okay? Yeah, the President of the United States said, we are the closest we have been to Armageddon since the Cuban Missile Crisis. So I'm irresponsible? That guy's got the nuclear football.
Listen, Biden's irresponsible as well. But what I'm saying, I mean...
Oh, so I shouldn't talk about the statement. That story is the lead... let me finish my sentence if you don't mind, Greg. That story is the lead story in every major newscast, including our top of the hour news, including Fox News, and all of the online media that I looked at this morning. It's not me making this up. This is the lead story today.
Like Steve just said to you don't trust what Biden says. You say he's, suffering dementia, Alzheimer's. Why would you believe this?
Well, because if you look at his dementia is what is responsible for the disaster in the Afghan withdrawal. He is still in charge and can bark out orders and has influence over events because he has the authority. He is the commander-in-chief and the president of the United States. He wielded he gave out a dementia-induced order to immediately pull out of Afghanistan, and look what happened. We left all that. I know you would like to forget about it, but as a Democrat, but that's what happened.
It's irrelevant.
No, it's not. It goes to it shows the danger of having an Alzheimer's sufferer in such a position of great command and authority.
But he's not going to start a nuclear war. Do you really think that's true?
He has put...
I don't sleep very well at night knowing that an incompetent is at the head of our government. I don't think anybody sleeps easily with Biden, but I don't think that he necessarily going to start a...
And when you're talking about... That's right. And the incompetence of him, on top of the fact that he's not with it together sends a dangerous message around the world and causes instability. You know, the thing with Greg, we're up against the break, so callers on hold, stand by. Greg is, and this is, those of you that are new to the program, this may be the first time you're experiencing this from one of our callers. Over the years, the Steve Kane Show, we've had a long list of chronic callers that have personal issues with me or Steve, and we're at that final stage with Greg where he's becoming unglued. And the issues that he talks about is not what's on his mind. He's got something with me. I don't quite understand why. And it's just really, he's not thinking clearly. All right, now listen, we're coming up on our break. Callers on hold, don't go anywhere, all right? You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Now, Friday is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday. You're not limited to just the topics that Steve brings up or I bring up, although I got a long list of show prep here we've not yet scratched the surface on, but we will go to your calls, and it is open phones. 1-888-GO-KANE 1, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this. Open phones. 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this.
Wake up and smell the truth. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Morning 6 to 9 on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs.
Hey, hold on.
Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
If you or a loved one own jewelry, diamonds, rare coins, watches, sterling silver, collectibles, then stop what you're doing right now and listen up. The biggest buying event is coming to Palm Beach County for a special 3-day event. You heard right, the most cash for your jewelry, diamonds, rare coins, watches, sterling silver, then collectibles is happening now. The biggest cash for your items is happening now at one location, Tweeries of Green Acres, America's biggest buyers of precious metals, all under one roof for this exclusive buying event. It's happening today. Tweeries of Green Acres. Don't miss your chance to get the most cash for your unused items. This huge buying event will happen at one location only. Tweeries Green Acres. Tweeries is located at 3971 Jog Road, Green Acres. This exclusive buying event is happening today from 10 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. at one location. Tweeries, 3971 Jog Road, Green Acres. Online at TWERYS.com. Hear that music? That means it's Christmas shopping season again. And when you're Christmas shopping, there's no better place to go than MyPillow.com. And with our promo code Kane and K-A-N-E, you will find the lowest prices ever on top MyPillow products. Right now, order your MyPillow My Slippers for $90 off in all sizes and colors for both men and women. The MyPillow that started it all is just $19.98. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress top is 50% off. The MyPillow bed is 50% off too. There's also incredible savings on the 6-piece MyPillow towel set, the 100% Giza cotton dream sheets, the MyPillow bathrobes. Whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of it with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. You can also order over the phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Eagle Eye Protection Services for all your firearm and security patrol service needs. Receive personal firearms training, including concealed carry for you, your friends, your neighbors, by professional instructor owner Mike Bonner. G-licensed security classes offered every week. For firearm and security patrol service needs, it's Eagle Eye Protection Services. Protect yourself, your family, or business. Call 561-723-7131. Eagle Eye, your local security protection services.
Just 60 seconds and you'll be racing for the phone. 888-GO-KANE 1. This is the...
All right, we are back, and the countdown has begun. The cruise is right around the corner. The Steve Kane, Brian Craig 2023 MAGA cruise leaves on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale for 7 days on the high seas. On January 28th, we're going to Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands, St. Kitts. And Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot, he's our travel agent that handles all of our cruises each year. He's with us today. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Brian.
Oh, man. Well, we're doing great because Steve and I, the cruise is coming up, and we have not had a vacation in a while.
It's been a while, and what a way to break the to break.
That's right. Now, listen, when I say in the recorded commercial, no liberal stowaways allowed, that's a funny joke, but it is true. We've got a good group of MAGA people. This is our largest group yet on any of the cruises we've done in the past. And, Ian, if people still want to book and go with us, can they do it?
Celebrity has graciously given us a little bit more time on our group space, but once I release it, or they force me to release it, it's gone. Final payment is now due, so I request that guests and listeners please call and make arrangements to pay it, and then we can finalize all our extra.
Yeah, so those of you that have made reservations, get in touch with Ian today and finalize everything. Ian and I are starting to work on the shore excursions. And we're going to have that Elon Musk internet on this cruise, right?
Link internet.
Cool. So listen, everyone, if you've not already spoken to Ian to join us on our MAGA cruise, this is our 4th cruise. Steve and I do these. We have dinner together every night, shipboard activities, shore excursions together. Steve's bringing his wife, Lori. I'm bringing my daughter. My mother-in-law and her husband are coming too. This is going to be a great, great time. I'm going to give you Ian's number. Now, again, if you've already made reservations, give Ian a call and touch base because we're getting to the final moments here. And if you would like to join us and have not made a reservation yet, you can still call. Here's the number, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon. All right, take care, take care. All right, the phones are very busy at 1-888-COCAINE-1. Yep.
I wanted to add one thing. We've said this before, but I want to clarify it so it's set in the minds of our listeners. One of the things that gives me great hope about the direction this whole election is going is Fox News. And we have this running debate all the time on the Steve Kane Show as to whether it's Fox's on whose side they're on, and Rupert Murdoch, and who they're favoring. If we win this thing, which I think we will, you will have Fox News to thank, and I'll tell you exactly why. What they have done is exactly what needed to be done. From the very beginning, it was whether our forces, when I say our forces, I'm talking about those of you who are Trumpers out there, as I am, we have all the facts on our side. We have all the issues on our side. The question was, could we hammer in on the positive, the things we want to accomplish, the things that we're going to do, which, the crime, the big four that we've been moaning about all this time. We've managed to get rid of the personalities. Now we are, what's going on is what should be going on, educating the voters, motivating them to go to the polls, and believe you me, they are motivated. And it's thanks to Fox News that, for starting with the 5, hold on, I gotta turn something off here. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I got this stupid thing. Okay. We're focused in. Every day from the time the 5 starts until Hannity goes off the air at the end, it's just motivating people to go.
Yeah.
Make sure that they vote, and if we win this election, Fox will be one of the main. It's the same thing. And with an update, they know how to position the polls. and how to go back over and create a continuity of the polling results so that they're put in the light you can understand, and you can see how it just every day we get closer and closer, and it's just. Well,
I mean, okay. Now, callers on hold, stand by, because I'm going to say something that's going to upset Steve. Is that okay, Steve? Because I'm going to upset Steve. The last thing we want to do on a radio show is upset people, you know. No. Okay. This thing about Fox, okay, there are some good people at Fox, and people I like Ray Gutfeld a lot. I like Tucker, Hannity from time to time. But here's the including Brett Baer, who's a real scumbucket. But that aside, yeah, he's on after the 5. He's after the 5. But there are good people over at Fox, okay? But the two things I just want to say, then we'll go to the phone. Anytime someone says something negative about Fox, you take it personally, like we're talking about, like your own personal television network. I mean, you take it personal for some reason, which I'm not 100% sure why.
The big picture is one of my favorite expressions. The big picture is extremely, extremely encouraging right now, and we have reason to be up and reason to be excited and reason. And all that's remaining for the next month is for us to rally the troops and get everything.
Well, here's the second thing. Okay. Well, here's the. We'll still be here, but it won't be fun or pleasant, and it'll be miserable. But here's the second part of that. Okay, that was the first thing. How you take it personally when people say something negative about Fox. Fox News' family had a fundraiser at their private home last night for Democrats in New York with Biden as the honored keynote speaker. I mean, when they're having James Murdoch, who Rupert's son, had Biden over at the house at a fundraiser for the Democrats last night. That doesn't say something good about Fox. That's bad, man.
Rupert Murdoch does not have. If you compare the juice or the influence that Rupert Murdoch has as opposed to any one of our great hosts there, the Judge or...
Well, they own the joint.
And not on the front line of the hosts.
Okay, front line.
It's a damn thing. That's what aggravates me. It gives me my shot of adrenaline before I go to...
Well, okay.
No, all is well, and I feel good, and I feel encouraged, and I feel optimistic, and I'm tired of I hate to say this, but Greg is right. I'm tired of the whining.
Oh, my God. Greg is right? Oh, my goodness. Are you okay, Steve? Greg is right. That's what I didn't think I'd hear. I'm not whining. That's the lead story is about this fundraiser last night and all the media, including Fox News. All right, listen, let's take a call here. The Fox News, the Armageddon speech is the lead story everywhere. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Steve, good morning, Brian, conservative.
Oh, yes, Doug.
Okay. The first thing I want to know is maybe I'm missing something. They're still blaming Putin for blowing up his pipeline. Wouldn't it be much smarter if he would have just shut everything off and not have to blow up his pipeline?
What difference does that make? What difference does that make? As we sit here talking about it, how does that help things? Whether we're going to think for Putin now?
No, but...
okay, thank...
Oh, my goodness. I told you it's going to upset you when I said that. I can tell. What? What are you talking about?
Putin should instead of wasting our good airtime, second-guessing Putin. I mean, for crying out...
Well, no, he's talking about what really happened with the Nord Stream pipeline explosions. But listen, it's time for our bottom-of-the-hour break. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Our number, 888-GO-KANE-1. Back with your calls after this. The hour break. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Our number, 888-GO-KANE-1. Back with your calls after this.
Bringing the heat to your radio every morning. It's the Steve.
You're right, Lisa, about Roger Ailes, and it's a very big grave he's turning over in too, huh? Because he's so big, or was.
The next break is Barry recorded, but I have to add a 60 to it to fill out
Okay.
3 minutes. Okay.
Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company, family owned, family operated. Where Grandma Gary and herself is in the kitchen. Amazing pizza, sizzling Philly cheesesteaks, salads, pasta, subs, and much more. Live music, patio seating, and 2-for-1 on all beer and wine for ladies' night every Wednesday. Mention Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 and receive a 15% discount. Come visit us today at Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company.
and Craig on Oldies 95.3.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. It is Open Phones on Friday. Open MAGA Mike Friday, we call it. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game. Okay.
I mean, maybe I've been doing this too long. I don't know. 40 years, maybe.
Longer.
Because of that. But we have a rare opportunity here as we gather together. We're basically, this audience, more than any other audience, is of a like mind. We all know what needs to be done. We all know how important the vote is. We create our own energy when we meet each morning for the Steve Kane Show. And you get a call like the one I just hung up on. Do you think it would be good if Putin did so and so? Who cares about Putin? Who's that consulting us on what he's going to do or not do? You got like 6 stories out there for these 6 swing states that everything is focused on. It all relies, the Georgia is one, and Pennsylvania, what the key states are. Mm-hmm. Every day there's a new development in those races. As you follow the plot and as you root our people home, you clarify people's thinking out there in the listening audience. You get people to vote who ordinarily wouldn't vote. We serve a purpose here, not just to sit and moan and whine and, if Putin had only done this, Putin, go and tell me what to do.
You missed what, Doug is not a very, very good communicator, okay? Conservative Doug, that's for sure. Yeah, I heard you. I know. But this is what he was trying to say, but he just doesn't have the ability to say it. But I'll tell you what he was trying to say in a moment. But before we go to the calls and I tell you what Doug was trying to say, I want to ask you a very important question in this listening audience. This is an important question, and we have the answer to it. If you answer yes. Do you or someone you know or love suffer from neuropathy? Neuropathy, Steve, you were suffering from neuropathy, and you were bedridden. I mean, you were bedridden, and the signs and symptoms of neuropathy are not just a form of disability. It's torture, the burning feeling, the feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet.
I mean, it's like pins and needles. It's burning. It's just, and it affects your balance, the way you walk. It just.
Oh yeah. And, the signs and symptoms are awful. It's just awful, neuropathy. And you even went to a specialist, a neurologist. He says, that's your life now. Deal with it. You got neuropathy. Suffer. Go home. Get out of here. And we actually went out on a search for help for Steve and his neuropathy for a couple reasons. We had a personal appearance we wanted to do, which you were not going to be able to do. This is the one where they called the police on us, because MAGA was there. We weren't going to be able to do it because you couldn't make it. Got the cruise coming up. You were concerned about that. And then we found Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Now, Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano is a family medical practice that has been in practice with the same family in Pompano for 75 years. You heard me right, 75 years. They may very well be the oldest medical practice in Broward County. Not only do they have a treatment for neuropathy, they have a treatment that actually works. It's worked on Steve and many people in this listening audience. I'm going to give you their number in just a moment, okay? Give them a call, and when you call, make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. Here's their number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642, and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Okay, now, I just want to say what Doug was trying to say, but doesn't have the ability to say it. What he's saying is they're saying that Putin blew up his own pipeline. A story came out that Poland did it on behalf of the United States to get more of a war footing going on over there. It makes no sense that Putin did it. It was us, is what he was trying to say.
Exercise in futility to call
that. Yeah, if the United States blew up the pipeline, that's not good. All right.
It's just an exercise in.
I'm sorry, Steve. I mean.
For heaven.
You just got triggered today because of the Fox News thing. I can tell. I mean, you're like really angry. I'm sorry, Steve. We shouldn't talk ill of Fox News.
This is a place that...
Well, I don't know if it's good. You're channeling. You're channeling it out on the... Well, let's take some calls. Some of these people have been hanging on for a long time while you're doing therapy on yourself. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Steve and Brian. This is Bill from Sanford.
Hey, Bill.
Bill, how are you?
Hey, fine. Now, let me tell you something about neuropathy. I suffer from neuropathy. I'm 79 years old. I know what you're going through.
We gave out the number.
I did. I gave it out 3 times, Steve. 3 times. Yeah, I give it out again at 754-222-6642. But let's move on to some other things, Bill.
I'm calling. This Armageddon scares me because you have Putin, who is not basically all there. He's been saying some outrageous things, and Biden's not all there. My question is, if either one of these decided for a first strike, would their generals go along with it?
You talking about our generals?
You don't know that.
Well, yeah, because neither one of these guys are all there.
Well, here's what I was talking about, okay? This speech of Biden's last night at the Murdoch house about Armageddon, no matter who the president was prior to this guy, they would send the Secretary of State and go and have a meeting with someone. We have a bunch of critical race theorists and people concerned about transgender therapy running the agencies of government now, and we have no statesmen that are trying to cool things off as things are getting hotter in Ukraine. On our side. We don't have any on our side.
That's what I'm saying. Team, statesmen.
And that's why things are so dangerous right now and getting worse. If Bill Clinton were president, I would rather Madeleine Albright. I mean, she's a liberal. She was a liberal jerk, but at least she'd go over there and try to avert war. And I mean, come on.
But these generals are people. They don't want their families to die.
No, listen. The generals that are in the military now are generals that came up through the ranks under Obama. Okay, they're General Milley types. Okay, they're a bunch of liberal wackadoodles. Okay, we don't have many real men in positions of authority.
What do you think that Biden is doing? What's going on with Biden now, do you think?
So far as what? What do you mean?
This situation?
Oh, he is trying to make money. He's figuring out what scummy deals he can get Hunter involved in, and money.
I don't agree. Right now, he's concerned with one thing and one thing alone, and that is his focus is on the election.
Oh, the midterms.
And what he is figuring is if he can create a situation that is sufficiently unstable that people will hesitate to change horses in the middle of a stream or in the middle of a war, that everyone's going to... You know what he's doing? He's using this like he used COVID in the last...
Mm-hmm.
He's the savior. He's the pitying hand. And that's why he's creating all...
Yeah, but gas is over $6 a gallon in some places. It's not going to fly.
Well, that's it. He knows it, and he knows that it's going to cost him his presidency, and he's desperately flailing out there to try to make things so desperate that people are afraid to move.
Oh, he may just come close to doing the worst thing possible, and I agree with Steve, because he knows that no president has ever lost during wartime, and he's banking on that. So he's trying.
Yeah, but no president has been this checked out before. Things don't apply. The past doesn't apply to this guy. I mean, this is some bad stuff.
On the fact that we should be focused on the election.
Well, I mean, we're talking about all the issues in the news. I don't understand what you're.
What is it you know? Let me explain to you. What is it you don't understand? You know, take for example the Herschel Walker election, okay?
Which I spent 2 days on here on the program, by the way.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Every day is a new chapter in each one of these races, and Fox has.
Oh, see, that's why.
Some good producers over there. They realize that, and I can tell you, tune into Fox tonight. You're going to get an update on the Georgia election.
Yeah.
That's different than what you heard.
But you know what, Steve? I won't I won't get the Trump rallies this weekend over there on Fox, though. They won't air them.
Speechless. So what?
Well, the Murdochs won't let Trump rallies on their air, and they're doing Democrat fundraisers with Biden at their home. Okay, that's not good. Hey, Sanford, thanks for the call. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. Only one opening at 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm choked up, and we'll be back. At 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. I need a drink. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm choked up, and we'll be back.
They're the most polarizing.
Oh. Yeah, I just swallowed. I was choking on my own saliva. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. All right, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. Huge announcement. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, guys, but thankfully it is Friday. Huge announcement from Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Listen to this, Steve. A brand new special. And this is one, you actually bought one of these for one of your daughters once, but there's some added specials. You know, Mike Lindell at MyPillow, he also makes incredible mattresses, and what I'm going to share with you involves both coil or foam mattresses in all mattress sizes. A massive discount on all the MyPillow mattresses. And you go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and you'll see this incredible deal with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. The complete mattress sleep system. So you can choose either a coil mattress or a foam mattress at any mattress size. He has them all, and like everything else Mike Lindell makes, these are very high quality. But you don't just get the mattress at an incredibly huge discount. You also get 2 free My Pillows and a free set of the My Pillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets and free shipping. So any size mattress, either coil or foam, huge discount, right? 2 free My Pillows, a free set of the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, and free shipping. But you got to use our promo code Kane at checkout. This is a great deal. If you or someone in your family need a new mattress, you want to call them. It makes a great Christmas gift too, and they'll enjoy it. Any special you see at mypillow.com, you can take advantage of with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You can also order this incredible deal on the mattresses, the Complete Mattress Sleep System, by calling 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout. Okay, now I got an update on a story we were talking about earlier this week that I just had pulled up and lost it. Give me a second, Steve, because I've got an update. This okay. Of course, the west coast of Florida was hit by the fourth worst, strongest hurricane ever to hit Florida. And we were talking, what's going on with the Teslas? Well, I know. Listen to this. In the aftermath, this is in the Post-Millennial, which is a great conservative online publication out of Canada. But they have a story going on with the Teslas in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian that you're not going to see elsewhere. In the aftermath of Hurricane Ian, Florida electric vehicle owners are faced with a unique problem. Their cars are catching fire. Video of Florida's North Collier Fire Rescue extinguishing a stationary but fiery electric vehicle emerged Thursday, showing the risks of these battery-powered machines. Florida's chief financial officer and Florida's state fire marshal wrote, "There's a ton of electric vehicles disabled from Hurricane Ian. As those batteries corrode, fires start." See, the water on them causes them to corrode, causes fire. That's a new challenge that our firefighters haven't faced before on this scale. And I'm watching it, and man, that car is burning. This is a tweet that was sent out. If you own an electric vehicle that was in salt water and floodwaters, get it towed away from any structure. You're at extreme risk for fire. And these fires, they're saying, Steve, the fire department, they're very difficult to extinguish. Why that is, I don't know. So we were talking earlier in the week about the electric vehicles. They're catching fire because of the corrosion on the batteries that apparently starts to happen rather quickly because it's only been a week, right? So that's an update.
Because they're
well,
massive.
Yeah, that's true. All right, there's only one opening on our board, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Daniel from Kentucky. I talked to you before.
Hey, Kentucky.
Hey, good morning. California.
Well, there's, when it comes to illegal immigrants, and I'll throw this out to anyone out there, is there anything positive that comes from illegal immigrants in our society? I mean, there seems to be nothing but negative. I mean, I don't quite get it. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
New Jersey.
Hey, Jersey. You're on the air. What? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to mention that I believe Putin did blow up his own pipeline, and the logical reason for him to do so would be that he can't be charged in The Hague for crimes against
Steve
humanity.
Kane Show.
He plans on freezing the Europeans.
Steve Kane Show. Hello.
And that's my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably, listen, one of the sides did it. We don't really know. Was it Putin? Was it us? I mean, all I know is this. Since that pipeline explosion happened, things have been getting more serious in Ukraine. Right? I mean, the dialogue has increased. Whoever is behind it, it has really made things much more dangerous over there. I read a story online last night. A group of Russian men made it to an Alaskan island from Russia, fleeing the draft. They're draft dodgers, and they made it to Alaska. You can see parts of Alaska from Russia, which is true. and this team of draft dodgers that made it to Alaska. I haven't seen this on television at all yet, but it's getting a lot of coverage online. But things are getting hot. Yeah, I guess they want. Yeah, I guess. Well, I don't know. They're on an Alaskan island. I don't know how I don't know how much of our society they're going to be participating in.
Increasing on Putin, and it's only a question of time till one of the some of the people around him are going to decide.
I don't know about that. I know we keep hearing that, but no, I know. Well, that's kind of like a line that we're getting on a lot of media in this country. I think that's a lot of wishful thinking for some reason, which is incredibly dangerous because we can't even name another person in their government. We don't know who would take over. It could cause all kinds of problems, including a civil war in Russia for all we know. Who knows? That sounds very dangerous. You know, when they overthrew the Soviet Union and Gorbachev, Yeltsin was there, right? And he was very open with his coup. He was, if I remember correctly, was he the mayor of Moscow or was he like the governor of the Russian country? You know, yeah, I can't remember exactly, but Yeltsin was there leading the overthrow of Gorbachev. So there was, a thing. With this, it's an unknown, Steve. I think it's dangerous.
Very hard to be worse than Putin.
Well, Kay, at least there's some stability over there. Steve.
Putin is a stabilizer.
More stable than an unknown that could cause a civil war. I mean, that seems I don't. I think you're not seeing things clearly on this. I mean, Steve, you don't know. No one.
I see Putin as a villain, but let's not get off.
No, he is. But if you remove him, and you have no idea who's going to take over, they could be worse. It could cause the entire country to collapse.
Say we leave Putin.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's correct.
For everybody.
Well, he's not massacring. I don't know about the massacring, but he's only been there 25 years or something.
Well, he's massacred. He hasn't massacred enough people lately for you?
Probably fewer people than the Democrats have killed in abortions.
That's a good answer, I like.
Is that a good answer from New Jersey? Is that a good answer, Connie?
Very good answer.
That's a good answer. I know, that was off the top of my head. I had to think fast on my feet on that one.
To be honest with you, Castro's Cuba needs to be regime changed as well. And just because he keeps the place stable doesn't mean he's good for the world.
Well, if there was a collapse in Cuba, there'd be chaos and everything. But Cuba doesn't border anyone, and they don't have nuclear weapons. No, they don't have nuclear weapons in Cuba. They don't even have food in Cuba. They don't even have food down there. Hey, listen, New Jersey, appreciate the call. All right, listen, our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. And again, on Fridays, it is open phones. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Fridays. You're not limited to just the topics that we bring up. I was reading in the Daily Wire this morning. Listen to this. This is good news. 66 abortion clinics have stopped performing abortions since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And these 66 abortion clinics that have shut down are spread throughout 15 states. Think about that. All the babies that have been saved, Steve. That's the overturning of Roe v. Wade, it was talked about for so long, and remember they would have this litmus test they used to talk about all the time. They would ask candidates, do you support the overturning of Roe v. It happened, and when it happened, it wasn't really that, it happened because of Trump, but there was very little resistance to it from the left, right? It happened.
They had a hot issue.
A couple overweight Handmaid's Tale women, and then that was it.
And well, no, actually, it was showing for a couple of weeks. It showed as a big issue, and then what happened was the public began to understand what the real issue was, which the abortion people had never. They were selling that it was making abortion illegal, which of course it doesn't. The Supreme Court, it doesn't make it illegal. It just throws it back to the states.
And many of them made it illegal at certain points and everything else. So
Yeah, but it was up to but the ruling has to do with whose decision it is. And now is the decision of the state.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as the people understood better what it was about, it lost its...
That's right. Now listen, Saturday, October 15th, join Steve Kane and me with Mike from Eagle Eye Protection Services. Steve and I are taking the Concealed Weapons Permit course with Mike from Eagle Eye Protection Services. I'm getting my concealed weapons permit for the very first time. People have been telling me for years, you got to get your concealed weapons permit. I'm doing it. You are all invited to join us. I'm going to give you Mike's number in just a moment, so get something to write with. Now listen, if you are new to Florida, this is perfect for you, all right? If you're new to Florida and you want to truly experience Ron DeSantis' free Florida, get your concealed weapons permit. And to get your permit, you got to take the class. And Mike is a top instructor who teaches high-level weapons training to people, so you're going to get an incredible experience with this. You'll get to hang out with Steve and me, and then after the class, part of the class, it ends with us heading out to the range and firing off some rounds. So we're going to have a great time. You're all invited. Take this course with us with Mike from Eagle Eye Protection Services and get your concealed weapons permit as well. Here's the number, 561-723-6191. 561-723-6191. Bring your wife, bring your husband, bring your adult children. Give Mike a call, 561-723-6191. All right, one more hour to go for the week. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Give Mike a call, 561-723-6191. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Right back.
The new Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 is here. WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station. From the Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry Weather Center. Tweery's, the most trusted dealer in rare coins, fine jewelry, precious metals, and more since 1982. Here's the Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. First warning, meteorologist Vanessa from WPBF 25 News. Expect lots of sunshine again on your Friday. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s. Very nice and comfortable. Morning lows in the 60s and the 70s. When you wake up on your Saturday morning, expect temperatures in the 70s and highs tomorrow in the mid to upper 80s.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community. Have a laugh with some funny memes. And keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
I-95 southbound approaching Linton Boulevard. A right shoulder is still blocked by a multi-vehicle crash. We're seeing some slowdowns on the approach between Atlantic Avenue and Lantana Road. The Turnpike southbound is also slow now passing Lantana Road and Airport Road. We'll stop and delays on 95 and northbound coming from Deerfield Beach and Boca. We also have some pretty steady stops.
Now listen, those of you that are Patreon supporters, go and check out the Patreon page. We uploaded a podcast only for Patreon supporters. That is my wife Kathy with my daughter Emily. And I'm not on that podcast. They did it. I didn't even get to hear it when they recorded it. I heard it last night. It's a very good episode. You'll really enjoy it. And my wife Kathy, my daughter Emily, it's available to all Patreon supporters. If you're not a Patreon supporter, I pinned the link right to the top of the chat there. Rome put it in there earlier. Become a Patreon supporter. Check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. My daughter revealed some things I was surprised she brought up, actually, on the podcast.
The United States hasn't faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Mr. Biden saying Vladimir Putin is not joking when he talks about using nuclear, biological, or chemical weapons because his military isn't performing well. It's not clear what the president or NATO
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet.
All right, yes. We are back. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here, and, well, the weekend's beginning today, and, of course, that means what? Anne Marie's, and I'm picking out my next order. You know, we went to Anne Marie's for lunch on Sunday last week, and a lot of our listeners came out, and they ordered all kinds of things, and were giving me their own personal reviews. And a few people ordered something, and they were raving about it, Steve, the chicken parm. The chicken parmesan. Listen to this. Chicken parm, breaded cutlet. I'm going to mispronounce all the Italian stuff, okay? I'm sorry, guys, but it's delicious. Okay, the chicken parm, breaded cutlet, classic pomodoro sauce, mozzarella, parmesan. It just sounds incredible. I mean, I am just my stomach is growling. I love Italian food. It's actually my favorite. My mom raised me on Italian food, Steve. And that chicken parm is going to, without a doubt, be my next meal at Anne Marie's in Pompano. What are you thinking of?
Times in the beginning, without ordering the pizza, because they had featured a bunch of great pizzas. And last Sunday when I showed up, I decided to have the pizza. The pizza is the best pizza I've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
You can get it with the cheese-filled crust, which is great. I like the one with all the meat in it. They got sausage. They got
the meat lovers, yeah.
Parodi, the meat lovers. Oh, it is. And what I did was I ate 2 pieces, and I took the rest home, and I've had it for breakfast.
Oh.
Of it now. I'm gonna go back over the weekend.
Well, they're open. Well, let me make a personal recommendation on a great pizza. I've had a couple of their pizzas, and they're both spectacular. But let me tell you, that's Sicilian. I have been on a search for a real Sicilian pizza, and I've ordered Sicilian from every place in town, and they give you things that are not even Sicilian. But at Anne Marie's, that Sicilian pizza was spectacular. I got it with the pepperoni. I don't know what it is about their pepperoni, Steve. It is delicious, like pepperoni I've never had before. Now listen, Anne Marie's is in Pompano on the corner of Copans Road and US 1 Federal Highway, okay? In the same shopping center as the movie theater. They're closed on Mondays but open the other 6 days of the week for both lunch and dinner, and they're also there for takeout. So when you stop in...
Ravioli, that's the other classic gourmet.
Yeah, which is available as an appetizer or entree, the lobster ravioli. So get it no matter what you order, at least for the appetizer. You'll love it. Make sure you tell them that you heard about them on the radio when you stopped in. All right, the phones are cooking. You want to take some calls? Okay, all right. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Berta from Texas.
Hey, Texas.
I'm calling because I was hoping you would mention it, Brian, but I'm kind of livid. About 2 days ago, I heard Nancy Pelosi says that Ron DeSantis is sending the immigrants over up north, but they should be down here. They need them towards the fields.
Nancy Pelosi said we need them to pick the fruit in Florida. That's what she said.
I'm insulted because not every Latino, okay,
is a fruit picker.
Okay? I'm a first generation Latin American, and I'm proud of America, and I am very patriotic for my country. But I think it's wrong for them to be judging people and saying that just because we're Latinos, we pick fields.
Well, Nancy Pelosi, think about it, Nancy Pelosi is a snob. And she's a typical white liberal elitist. If you remember a few weeks ago, she was talking about her drunk driving husband. And he said that, who by the way, killed someone in a drunk driving accident in his younger days. I believe, his brother. He killed his brother. Could you imagine if your daughter came home and said, I'm marrying this great guy who killed his brother? I'd be like, whoa, maybe we should rethink. But anyway, she was talking about her husband makes fun of her because she likes to eat dinner early when the peasants eat. and he likes to dine in the evening around 10. You know, she is a liberal, elitist snob who thinks she's better than everybody. She's the biggest snob in America.
Every Latino Democrat that's trying hard to become a doctor, a physician, and everything should really think hard before voting. They should really vote, because they're not even Democrats. If they really get into the nitty-gritty, some of these Latinos, when they talk, they're not even Democrats.
Well, I remember Ozzy Osbourne's daughter, I forgot her name, she used to be on The View, and when the wall was going to, and she said, if you deport them, who's going to clean our toilets? And she was serious. And she was serious, you know, and maybe yourself, but, you know, this is amazing. This is what they think of people that are non-white liberals. They clean toilets and they pick fruit.
I was hoping you would mention it, and I want every Latino to know, just because you're Latino doesn't mean you have to be Democrat. Look into it.
That's true, yeah.
You don't have to be Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
They do. If you're leaving your country to come to my country, and don't vote for what you left your country for.
You know, the big, appreciate the call. Yeah. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Lewis from Plantation.
Mm-hmm.
And just wanted to say with the last caller there, absolutely, we need to get out and vote. Wake up call, guys. We're on the brink of war in this world. And with Fort Myers and stuff, a couple comments about that. These people are now very limited in their voting abilities and capacities because of what's happened in their infrastructure. So it's important that Floridians that are Republican really get out there and don't second guess that, you know, their vote doesn't count. It definitely counts.
Well, let me tell you, okay, you're right. And, you know, I had some concern, excuse me, I had some concern about the hurricane in the election, okay? But there's been some things that give us hope. And I'm talking about in Florida here. One, that low-life mayor of Fort Myers that took the Lord's name in vain when Biden said nobody F's with a Biden, and he said you're GD right, you know, that he's a Democrat. So that tells us Fort Myers is a Democrat town. I did not realize that. I don't follow Fort Myers politics, so that's a Democrat area. But so that's one thing. So if it depresses the vote, a lot of it will be Democrat vote. But there was another thing.
Pertaining to what the caller called, remember the Sheriff Nick thing with Andrew? Sheriff Nick was Nick Navarro was one of the most popular sheriffs we've ever had down here.
Yeah.
A popular politician. And he was up for re-election. Hurricane Andrew came through South Florida, and it was a brutal hurricane. I mean, very similar to what you saw here, and nobody went out to vote because the hurricane had done such destruction. It was difficult to vote because it was hard to get around, and he lost because the turnout.
Yeah,
and you want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't know if that's another thing too with this. So a lot of this area that was hit is a Democrat area, but look at what Ron DeSantis did, right? The bridge got wiped out by the hurricane to one of the islands. He built the bridge already, and I saw semi-trucks from Publix driving across, taking groceries to the people out there. So DeSantis is a man of action. So Yeah, and the thing with DeSantis is a lot of Democrats, they see what he's doing, and a lot of Democrats are going to vote for DeSantis who would not have before the hurricane. So no, so don't worry, DeSantis will be fine.
Don't worry.
I heard that real quick. That I heard this on the TV on Fox or something. I don't know what channel, but that when what's this guy's name? Biden went out there to visit Fort Myers. That in the midst of their tragic devastation, he was trying to infuse or push his green agenda. I'm not sure.
He said when he spoke standing in front of Ron DeSantis, he says this hurricane has settled the debate over whether global or climate change is real. There's no more debate on it now. We don't debate science anymore.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Have a great day, guys.
All right, take care. Oh man, all right. Our number 888-GO-CANE-1. We're going to take our first break of the hour. Come back with more calls. And that just real quick, so we can only have about 30 seconds. That Nick Navarro thing. I don't agree. He had the gay activist after him, and they were mobilized hard. Remember, he did a big raid on the gay bar, and the gay activists were after Sheriff Navarro. I think he lost more because of the gay activist than the hurricane, frankly. And it was a Democrat county, very Democrat activist at the time, Broward County. It was a shame what happened to Sheriff Nick. All right, now listen, we're going to take our first break of this hour. Our number toll-free, 888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break and be right back. 665-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break and be right back.
The Steve Kane Show, telling it like it is, whether you like it or not. Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
If you or a loved one own jewelry, diamonds, rare coins, watches, sterling silver, collectibles, then stop what you're doing right now and listen up. The biggest buying event is coming to Palm Beach County for a special 3-day event. You heard right. The most cash for your jewelry, diamonds, rare coins, watches, sterling silver, and collectibles is happening now. The biggest cash for your items is happening now at one location, Tweeries of Green Acres, America's biggest buyers of precious metals, all under one roof for this exclusive buying event. It's happening today. Tweeries of Green Acres. Don't miss your chance to get the most cash for your unused items. This huge buying event will happen at one location only, Tweeries Green Acres. Tweeries is located at 3971 Jog Road, Green Acres. This exclusive buying event is happening today from 10 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. at one location, Tweeries, 3971 Jog Road, Green Acres. Online at TWERYS.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pamela. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Then, the first time had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This segment of the Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are available to you? Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080, and she will answer all your Medicare questions. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Grab your coffee and get ready to be triggered. The Steve Kane Show with
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Now, Medicare open enrollment period, this is that time of year. You know, Medicare open enrollment period is the only time of year that you can make any changes to your Medicare policy. And Debbie from I Will Advisors has been with us for many, many years. Her family have been handling Medicare for listeners of the Steve Kane Show long before you were on Medicare, Steve. I mean, way back in like, gee whiz. I think that family, the Klatzow family, have been with us since about 94 here on the Steve Kane Show. A long time. And Debbie from I Will Advisors handles your Medicare each and every year. And you had a problem. You had a prescription that wasn't covered that was like huge amount of money. And Debbie went through your policy and found a way to get it covered, which you didn't even think was possible. Yeah, it was amazing. A month. Yeah. Now listen, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West and everywhere in between, Debbie from I Will Advisors can help you. Okay? And again, this is the only time you can make changes to your Medicare during open enrollment. She'll review your policy. It costs you nothing, by the way, to do this. She'll review your policy. If you have a supplement, she'll make sure that you're not paying too much for it. She'll make sure that next year your primary doctor is covered. She'll make sure that your specialists are covered, your local pharmacy, your prescription medications, everything. It's amazing. And she does this with Steve each and every year and with many of our listeners, and she does a great job. You can call right now. Now listen, if you call early and the office isn't open, leave a message. They will call you back. Debbie from I Will Advisors. Again, no matter where you are in Florida, she can help. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. All right, back to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Well, we're taking the class together on October 15th, Steve and I, and all our listeners are invited with Mike from Eagle Eye Protection. And then after that, I'll get my permit, yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, one thing I didn't like about DeSantis' pick, Jeanette Nunez, for lieutenant governor, was when she was in the legislature, she was the sole vote that voted against constitutional carry and open carry. Now, I'm not a fan of open carry. I wouldn't advertise them wearing a weapon, but we would have had constitutional carry in the state of Florida if it wasn't for her.
Well, now I'll slow down. What's her name again?
Jeanette Nunez.
I know. Yeah, she's the lieutenant governor. Yeah. Name another lieutenant governor of Florida. Yeah, that's exactly right. Lieutenant governors are nobodies. They go nowhere. I heard what you said. I don't worry about her. No one. Hey, listen. No one's perfect. Now, Ron DeSantis is close, but yeah.
One other thing I wanted to mention is during the break, I heard on the news they're talking about Armageddon for Biden. I did read yesterday. I don't remember. I think it was on Newsmax or OAN where the government bought millions of doses of anti-radiation pills from Amgen for government employees.
Oh.
So they're cleaning out the stockpiles with that. So I just thought that was an interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Designed in Biden's imagination to help him win the election that he's going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure about this vote, Steve.
Well, what does it? I mean, what we're in the business of doing is encouraging people, not telling them that it's a waste of time. I got another announcement before I forget, Steve. This is an interesting announcement, and you guys remember Al Knight. A lot of people in this you guys know Al Knight. He was with Craig Worthing for many years. Starting tomorrow, Al Knight's going to be on the air middays on our radio stations. So he'll be on middays on Saturdays and then afternoons on Sunday, starting this weekend. Al Knight. So I tell you, we've got this troop of people that we've been around. Al Knight. He'll be on the weekend, starting tomorrow here on our radio stations. We spent Hurricane Andrew all those years ago all night long with Al Knight. Yeah, I know. Al Knight and I were taking turns sleeping on the floor of the control room while one of us ran the board during the hurricane. But he'll be starting tomorrow, 10 to 2, And then on Sunday, noon to 4. So check that out, guys, on all of our radio stations. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Stuart.
Hey, I think that you're making a mistake.
Oh.
Stay home.
I'm not telling people to stay home. Who am I telling to stay home?
You said they don't have to worry about DeSantis.
Okay, so what would you like me to say? What would make you feel good? What should I say?
Get out and vote.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So listen. Of course, I want everybody to turn out and vote for Ron DeSantis. Your thing, but I am very confident he's going to win re-election. Are you?
I am confident, but I think that you need to tell people. You don't tell people that he's got it locked up. Don't worry about it, because then they.
Oh, I don't tell people that. So you want me to lie to people and tell them I'm not sure he's going to win? That to be afraid and scare people into voting? That's what Democrats do. I don't want to lie and scare. Like Democrats like to say, if you don't vote for us, you're going to lose your Social Security. If you don't vote for, I mean, come on. I don't know if his point is well taken. What are we supposed to do? Lie to Ron DeSantis? We're not.
It's set up, but it only works if that.
When the guy, well, obviously, Steve, I'm not telling people not to go out and vote, but I'm not going to tell people to be scared. Be scared. Wait, Charlie Crist is coming. Charlie Crist is a Benedict Arnold bum, okay? And Charlie Crist, if you notice this, since the hurricane, I've seen him twice. Haven't seen him in about 5 days. And Val Demings, is she in the candidate protection program now? When is the last time you've seen Val Demings? The Democrats have pulled out of Florida, is what I'm telling you. They have pulled. We're a month away, and the Democrats have pulled out of Florida. They're no longer putting any effort behind either Charlie Crist or Val Demings. And Val Demings had big money behind her in the primaries. You couldn't turn on Fox News even without seeing her commercials in every break. And the Democrats have pulled out of Florida, which is, I'm sorry to the caller to tell people the truth. That means the Democrats are projecting a loss. They don't want to waste money on Val Demings, and that's a statewide race. They would rather spend it somewhere else. And I'll tell you another thing, Steve. Fetterman seems to be on his own, too. It seems the Democrats aren't really too involved with Fetterman up in Pennsylvania. I don't follow the polls. I don't trust the polls. I'm seeing a very amateur hour campaign out of Fetterman. And that tells me that they don't have anybody from the National Party working with him, that he's doing his own thing with his wife who never speaks. No, but they could put an effort in the campaign, and it seems
consistently, even if it's only a couple of points behind, you don't want to. You want to emphasize the importance.
Yeah. Now listen, of course, Steve, but I got to talk about what's going on. I can't, Listen, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. Callers on hold, stand by. Steve is here. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Steve, but I got to talk about what's going on. I can't, Listen, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. Callers on hold, stand by. Steve is here. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Mornings.
Steve Kane Show. Oh, sure. Hold on one second. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Yeah, Debbie, I'll give you the number. 954 753 8080. Yeah, she can help you with the whole thing. Okay, thank you. Bye.
The Turnpike southbound is also slow now, passing Lake Tannermere and Lake Worth Road. We're seeing the usual stop and go delays on 95 heading northbound coming from Deerfield Beach into Boca. We also have some pretty heavy stop and go traffic on Forest Hill Boulevard between Congress Avenue heading eastbound towards 95. And we're crashing Broward County, 95 southbound before Sterling Road. Now blocking just the right shoulder, but stop and go traffic is going back from 595. This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. That's Traffic on Chris Barr.
An honest auto mechanic, you probably don't think they exist, but one does. Eddie at Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. He works on all makes and models, new, old, classic cars, even hybrids. Champagne Automotive Repair is the official mechanic of the Steve Kane Show. Call 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
If you have rare coins, diamonds.
So I was asking her, I got a long car ride this weekend, and I was asking for some recommendations for a book I can get on audiobook. And Christine gave me a good one. I did write that down, Christine. I'm going to check that out. But somebody asked, what kind of books do I like? I like history. It's my favorite. I like history. So if anyone has a great recommendation for some history books, that one of which I may get on Audible, for my car drive this weekend, in the car all alone. I hate long drives, especially alone. I'll take some recommendations.
An LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 1-833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's right now for this limited time offer. 1-833-283-5050.
Yeah, I've read most of Bill O'Reilly's books. I've definitely, The Harbingers, I have that on my list, Christine. Not novels. Although, In Cold Blood's not, it's a true crime. I don't know of another Truman Capote book, though, other than Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood. Yeah, Bill O'Reilly's books are pretty good. I liked his Kennedy book the best. Thought that was the best one. I've already have that one. I probably have a copy of that one here. The Bill, yeah, because he sent me a bunch of them. That's the Dick Morris book with President Trump on the back. I got a bunch of those.
Call today 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. Brighton.
Yeah, I think Truman Capote was writing about himself in Breakfast at Tiffany's. He's Holly Golightly, probably.
January 28th on the Celebrity Apex at Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. And then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together.
Oh, he has a new one out? What's the new Bill O'Reilly book? I'm not into novels, really, too much. Not big in the novels.
561-244-5779. Join us as we celebrate our president, Donald Trump. Make your reservation.
Killing Lincoln is good.
561-244-5779. No liberal stowaways allowed.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, we are back. Today's show is flying by, and it's almost the weekend, Steve. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. You know, you were telling me yesterday, we were talking, you have some kind of pain other than me, and talking about Fox. Was it your hip or your back? I can't remember.
Right back.
Lower right back. Well, you have got to call the hip area. Well, that's good. You need to go over and see Dr. Philip Appleton and talk to him about laser away pain. It works on hip pain. It works on hip pain. It's one of the many things. You know, it's been over a month now since Dr. Appleton treated my knee. I've had pain in my knee for years. It is gone. It is not returned. It's just amazing. And I'm much more energetic because pain takes your energy out of you. But, you know, you can go in anytime, no appointment necessary for Dr. Appleton, for everyone, not just Steve Kane. And he's open 6 days a week, the 6th being Saturday. Walk-ins are welcome. So whenever you feel like it, Steve, you can head over to Dr. Appleton unannounced and go in and get your hip pain treated with his laser away pain system. Now, Dr. Appleton is located in Pompano, about a mile north of Cypress Creek Road on the west side of Powerline. I'm going to give you the number, but when you call, make sure that you tell Dr. Appleton that you heard about him on the radio so you can take advantage of his no-charge consultation, all right? Here's the number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonCairo.com. And again, make sure you tell him you heard about him on the radio. Okay, there's only one opening on the board, so let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm August, Steve. Good morning.
Hey, Augie.
How are you? How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing good down there. Look, excellent. Ask Brian, you know, you're talking about that trip on that boat?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The Celebrity Apex.
Yeah. Tell me
Here we go.
You know, I told you.
This is going to be good.
I fell and broke my leg and stuff.
Oh, my.
I'm in a wheelchair and stuff like that, remember?
Uh-huh.
Am I able to access the boat or anything?
Absolutely. In fact, the Celebrity Apex, which is, you know, we travel on Celebrity Cruise Lines, Celebrity Apex, which is a brand new ship and the most expensive cruise ship ever constructed, okay, and it's beautiful. The hallways are larger to accommodate people that have disabilities. And it is wheelchair accessible from the time you get to the port until the time you leave. When we get back to port, absolutely. They'll take you on board in your wheelchair. They'll wheel you on up and everything.
Well, is it really expensive?
Well, the price depends on which cabin you choose. Let me give you the number. You can call Ian, and depends on what cabin you can choose. Now, you've heard in the commercial, and this is true. If you are in our group, you will be going on this cruise for less money than anyone else on the boat, except the crew. Okay, because when COVID hit, we called up Ian and we set this cruise up, and that's when the cruise industry was shut down. So we got like these bargain basement prices on this very upscale cruise. So here's the number: 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I really want to go with you guys on.
Well, that'd be great. We'd love to have you.
Okay, and I thank you, Steve.
Yes, our listeners are two extremes. They're either like really, really super nice people like Augie, or they're Greg too. We just got these extremes on our calls. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
This is Gary from Wichita Falls.
Okay, Wichita Falls. Yes.
What's doing?
Hey, Steve.
Mm-mm. No, here we go. Here we go. You know, this is, boom. You didn't hear what was said, Steve. I'll tell you after the show. This is so interesting. We haven't talked about this in a couple weeks. It's happened twice today. I didn't reference it the first time. The Democrats are in a complete state of panic. And let me tell you what, I didn't want, you know, the show's been pretty fast today, and when it happened earlier, I didn't stop down to talk about it, but we're at the end of the show, and this is the guy that called from Stewart, you know, that said that, you know, DeSantis, we need to tell people DeSantis is in trouble, and everything else. The Democrats are in a panic mode, and we've had a major indicator on the program today. We've had 2 callers call in. They always have Southern accents that sound fake. And they're seminar callers. You used to hear Rush Limbaugh talk about seminar callers all the time, seminar callers. And when the Democrats are in trouble around election time, they send out the seminar callers to the troubled areas to try to influence the public and the listening audience. And seminar callers, they're liberal Democrats who are pretending to be conservatives, and they say and do things to try to get things going. And I don't know what it is. Why do they have to do the fake country accent? That's I guess they think that makes them sound more MAGA, right? I don't know. Donald Trump he's like a New Yorker. I don't know why they think MAGA people are all, you know, you're a New Yorker, you're MAGA, Steve, you know. I don't know why they got it. They think the Southern accent is the way to go. Oh, now I wanted to throw this out to you. I taught you about this off the air, and I brought this up in the 6 o'clock hour. This car accident cover-up of Kamala Harris. This, to me, is, I know people will say it's trivial. Something's going on here. Kamala Harris got into a car accident on Monday. And the Secret Service, and she went along with it, lied about the cause of the crash. And the accident was completely suppressed and leaked out yesterday. Happened on Monday, it leaked out on Thursday, and what had happened, there was a TikToker who was nearby and caught some of it on their phone and put it up on TikTok and Twitter yesterday, and then it got out that Kamala Harris was in a car accident. Something, and the vehicle that she was in one of the black SUVs, drove up on the sidewalk. It hit the curb with such force that the car was not operative. Busted the rim and did something, I don't know, the car was not operative. You have to hit something pretty hard with a vehicle that carries the Vice President of the United States to do that. These cars are made to take bombs and bullets. They hit something so hard that the vehicle couldn't be driven. They had to take Kamala out of the vehicle, put her in another vehicle. They drove her to the White House where she was examined by doctors. And they covered this up for 3-4 days. Something was going on inside that SUV that they don't want us to know about that caused the accident. Well, I know the first thing everybody says is, you know, Willie Brown's girlfriend, probably something like that with one of these hunky Secret Service agents. I have not seen, there's not many reports on this, but it seems that her husband wasn't with her. It's also possible there was someone in the vehicle with her that they don't want us to know about, and they don't want the husband to know about. That's another possibility. I don't know. I really don't have a firm theory on this. I want to throw this out to the callers in the last segment to speculate on. I know it sounds like a minor thing, but they covered it up. By the way, the Secret Service lied about the cause of the accident. They said it was mechanical failure, and they even told the director of the Secret Service it was mechanical failure. Kamala went along with this deception. And then it came out through an anonymous person that it was not mechanical, that something, we don't know what, but something else happened that caused a Secret Service man, who were some of the most well-trained drivers in the world, to crash the vehicle with such... He was distracted, and could be distracted by some activity he was involved in, or there could have been something going on in the back seat that distracts. There's something about this that they don't want us to know that caused the accident, and gave them reason to cover it up for 4 days until it leaked out. If it wasn't for that TikToker, we still would not have known that the Vice President of the United States was in a car accident. And I have never heard of a Vice President getting into a car accident. Have you? No, it's major news. It's major news. And nothing. So we're going to take our break for the Gold Report with William Youngerman. And then after the break, we'll take some calls. It is open phones. You're not limited to this, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Am I just making too much of it? I think 4 days of a cover-up of a story says something. All right, we're going to take our break. We'll be back with the Gold Report. Like to hear your thoughts on this. Am I just making too much of it? I think 4 days of a cover-up of a story says something. All right, we're going to take our break. We'll be back with the Gold Report.
The longest running radio show in the state of Florida. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
All right, and each morning at this time, we check in with William Youngerman, who gives us the latest updates on the gold and precious metals markets. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
Down $3.50, and silver closing at $20.63. Platinum gaining $3 at $920, and palladium gaining
Steve Kane Show.
at $2,190.
Steve Kane Show.
This morning we see after the jobs report came out, the market's pulling back. Unemployment rate coming down to 3.5%, and that's not exactly what the Fed's looking for. So they were hoping that the tightening might start to loosen up, but that's not happening, and that could push us further into a recession deeper next year. As of now, gold is trading at $17.0320. That's down $9.60. Silver at $20.41 the ounce. That's down 22 cents right now. Platinum and palladium, the only gainers right now. Platinum up $8 at $928, and palladium up $6 at $22.12. That's pretty much where we're standing right now as we digest some of the numbers that just came out. But I don't see this being very impactful on the precious metals, and this is certainly a buying opportunity with any kind of pullback. Gold finding pretty good support around 1,700, and silver holding nicely above $20 an ounce.
Yeah, now William Youngerman, yeah, of course people can come in, all the metals are available for immediate delivery and walk out with their gold, their silver, their platinum, but you can do business with people that are located anywhere. They can't make it in for whatever reason, that are in another part of town, out of state, or another part of Florida, or even internationally. Can you tell people how they can do business with you over the phone?
It's very easy. You just simply call us, lock in a price on whatever precious metals you're looking to buy, wire the money, and the metal is shipped out overnight, practically the same day or the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's insured, and it's a very easy process, and I know a lot of our listeners do that. Now, William Youngerman opens at 10 a.m. You can call him at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Find him online at williamyoungerman.com. If you want to stop in, he's located right here in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, have a great weekend, William Youngerman. We'll talk on Monday.
Hey, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes. All right, I'm Brian. Steve is here. And October 15th, Saturday, you are all invited to join me and Steve Kane. We are taking our concealed weapon permit course with Mike from Eagle Eye Protection Services. I'm finally, after all these years, getting my concealed weapons permit. And you are all invited. Call Mike at Eagle Eye Protection Services and join us. This is going to be a great class, and I'll tell you why. Mike at Eagle Eye Protection Services is a top instructor for different things, people that are going to be security and things like this. So you're going to get a real thorough top training course for your concealed weapons permit course with Mike from Eagle Eye Protection. And also, if you're new to Florida, everyone who moves to Florida, they want, of course, to be able to carry, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons you moved to Ron DeSantis' Free Florida. So those of you that are new, this is a great opportunity to get your concealed weapon permit is to take this course with Mike from Eagle Eye Protection. I'm going to give you the number, and bring your spouse, bring your adult children. Hey, listen, concealed weapon is a great thing to have in the state of Florida. We saw what just happened over on the West Coast. Remember what Governor DeSantis said. This is a Second Amendment state. It certainly is. So it's October 15th at 10 a.m. Steve Kane will be there. I will be there, and you are all invited. It's going to be a great time, too, because not only are we going to get this great course, and it's a social event because we're all going to be hanging out, too, but at the end of the course, we get to go to the range. And that's where the fun starts, right? I'm looking forward to that. So here's the number. Call Mike at Eagle Eye Protection Services, 561-723-6191. 561-723-6191. All right, I'm looking at a full board of calls, Steve. Let's go. All right. I'm taking them in the order in which they were received, all right? You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Al from you know where. I won't say Brooklyn Bay.
All right, yeah.
Couple things. Kamala Harris has no control over what the Secret Service says about an accident. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. So blaming her for their misdeeds is crazy. That's number one. Number two, more importantly, I'm surprised.
Wait, hold on. You heard something I didn't hear. Where did Brian blame Kamala Harris for anything? What did he say that blamed her? Or is this just another one of your wild liberal fantasies?
No. Apparently you weren't.
Well, what did he say to answer the question? What made you? What did she say that makes you think that Brian was blaming her?
He claimed that it was possible she was messing around with a Secret Service agent that her husband doesn't know about.
He didn't say that. I didn't hear him say that.
I said something was going on in the vehicle that they don't want us to know about. That's why they covered up the accident.
Well,
exactly. Do you have a theory? You have a better theory?
No, I don't have a better theory.
All right, then get up.
Yeah, exactly. He has no theories, but he's talking. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning, caller. All right, once, twice. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lake Worth.
All right, Lake Worth. What's up?
Ryan, this is for Steve and for Broward County Sheriff's Department. 8 sheriffs I worked for. Nick Navarro was one of them. Steve, stop putting him on a pedestal. I can go on for hours about that man.
He was a great man, Sheriff Nick Navarro. He was a great man.
I knew Nick very well. I never heard anybody say a bad word about Sheriff Nick.
Except Democrats.
And that's why I'm a Republican, okay? I worked for him. I was a cop for 38 years.
All right, so what's your beef with him? I mean, you called in, you might as well tell us.
I'm going to tell you, the way he treated his men. He took care of the 4 or 5 on top, and that was it, okay? And I can go on, but it would take like 2 hours.
Now, we got a couple minutes here. Since you're talking, my personal opinion is that Sheriff Nick Navarro was a great man that I was honored to know. I knew him because of Steve, and we got some time. Let's go. You've obviously got a personal...
The election, because people caught on to his game.
No, he lost the election. I'll tell you why he lost the election, and I got a question for you. Excuse me, I was there. And actually, we had he lost the primary, and we had Sheriff Nick the morning after the primary. I've never seen, it was a hot show, never seen somebody the morning after. He lost mainly because of those gay activists that were after him, because he cracked down, he did a big bust at the Copa Gay Bar, and the gay activists were on him. But what's your personal beef with Sheriff Nick? Something happened. There's a lot of anger. He's been dead for years and hasn't even been sheriff for longer than that. So there's something personal here. It doesn't sound...
I'll answer the question, sir, because you sound... It's something I like about your voice, because it sounds like... I'm going to give you credit for being honest. Just the feeling I get. So let's...
Yeah, he's honest, yeah.
This is my question. With any sheriff that you have, there's always an inner circle. You agree with that, right? You're an old-timer, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think your beef with Sheriff Nick is you weren't part of the inner circle. And you were resentful of that, which is understandable. Okay? Am I right?
Well, what he would do...
Yeah.
Well, before you tell me what he would do, am I right or wrong?
To a point, you're right.
I knew you were an honest man.
I like this caller.
You're right. But he didn't give us a raise for 6 years, but he gave his men on top a raise. And he wait a minute now. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
He had a guy,
Yeah, go ahead.
one guy, won't mention his name, he's dead, thank God. Okay?
Gee whiz. Wow. Gee.
You're pretty bitter.
That's how evil the guy was. Okay?
I don't know. I mean, you're... geez.
Henchman. If Nick didn't like you, he went after
What was the guy's name?
you.
I want to, because I knew that some of the people around Sheriff Nick too. What was the guy's name?
Roger Lakutis.
Okay, that doesn't ring a bell with me, but go ahead.
Yeah, he actually owned a bar in Coral Springs after he retired, but I heard he had...
So were you not, you said to a certain extent, do you feel that you were passed over for some promotion or something? I mean, to talk this way of people that have been dead for years with such anger is bizarre.
And I was making between $150,000 and $200,000 a year, okay?
Oh, then what's your beef? As a cop in Broward?
That was overtime and details, and that was after.
And that was back in what, in the 90s, right?
Let him talk, bro.
38 years I was a...
Okay.
Yeah, I worked for 8 sheriffs. The only good sheriff I ever worked for was Butterworth. Okay? He treated his men right.
Butterworth.
So all the guys that worked for Nick Navarro, all the deputies, okay, thousands of them, and nobody would say a good word about him.
Oh, that wasn't my experience. He was very popular among the men from what I saw.
Every time he called your radio station, he was campaigning. That's what he was about. He was the best. He was
a politician. There's no question in that.
He said there was no such thing as bad press. Okay, remember he closed the courthouse down for the day or 2 days?
Sheriff Nick was a maverick of sorts.
He was he was a personality. He used to hang out with John Walsh and Geraldo and Steve, and he was a media guy. There's no getting around it. But he used to do some things like he would be out to dinner at Burton Jack's and he'd pull somebody over for speeding in his tuxedo on the way home. I mean, he was a super cool guy. I loved Sheriff Nick Navarro. He was the greatest sheriff we ever had.
He was a sweetheart.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, I knew Sharon, yes.
She's a nice lady, don't she?
She was always nice, but she was like the first lady.
something happened. Steve, you're on to listen. Caller, we're up against the end of the show, and I'm sorry, but you're a great caller, and I love your energy and your passion, even talking so terribly about the dead. But but Steve touched on a nerve with you, and you knew Sheriff Nick Navarro's wife by her first name. You were slighted by Sheriff Navarro, whether it was for a promotion or something, and you're pissed about it.
I never took a sergeant's test in 38 years.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, any former friend of Sheriff Nick's is a friend of...
He's not a friend. He hates him, Steve. He hates him.
Here's the guy. Please stop putting him on a pedestal. You don't know him. You know the guy who called your radio station. Okay?
He was a good, I knew Sheriff Nick off the air. Look, I'm entitled to... We can disagree on whether you like somebody or not.
I worked for him. The whole time he was sheriff. We had a party when he lost the election.
Oh my goodness! When we used to have him on the show, I don't know if you remember this, Steve. When Sheriff Nick would come in, I would play the theme to Cops, Bad Boys, and he'd do a little dance. He was a great man. How many of these sheriffs after him went to prison? Yeah. Went to prison,
Ken Jenny?
Probably. He was great, right? Better than Nick.
What did you think of Ken Jenny?
I like Ken Jenny.
Oh, the one that went to prison. Oh, my goodness. The one that went to prison you liked, but Sheriff Nick Navarro.
That thing they brought...
What kind of cop are you that like people that go to prison? I thought you were supposed to be anti-criminal. All right. Hey, call us again. All right. Oh, my goodness. That's a guy in need of therapy, Steve. He needs therapy. He's got some issues. He's a good guy, but he's holding on to that anger. We have a full board of calls and only 90 seconds to go of the show. So I'm going to take one at random. If you're on hold, get to it quick, okay? Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
JJ from Mass.
Hey.
Hey, JJ. I wanted to comment briefly on the accident, the VP accident. You guys were asking for theories, and I'm thinking, number one, we've got to find out the Secret Service, the driver. What's his medical record? How many COVID-19?
What's that got to do with the accident? I thought you were going to see we had to find out if he's a hunk.
Well, there's always that possibility.
Yeah.
I see that. I don't see a Secret Service. I just can't see.
Something happened.
Mama's that hot. I mean, maybe other people do. I just think she's. I really think obviously it's either a stroke, some kind of mental.
Since when does a guy care how attractive a woman is?
She has a reputation of being a.
And she's the female vice president. Hey, listen, we're out of time, JJ. Last call of the week. All right, listen. We'll be back on Monday. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Those of you that are on hold that didn't make it on the air, I apologize. But we're here 5 days a week, all right? And don't forget, October 15th, join us at our Concealed Weapon Permit course. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump. 5 days a week, all right? And don't forget, October 15th, join us at our Concealed Weapon Permit course. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump. All right, guys, listen, I got to run. Thanks for watching, everyone. And before you go, make sure that you like the video and you're subscribed. Steve Kane Show. All right? Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.